And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Real Talks. My name is David Steele. Um, my God, it's been a minute. A couple of things. First of all, I'm glad to be back, but more importantly, so you guys may have seen this or may not have seen this before. So if you have, just bear with me. Um, Here's the thing that I've been trying all of these different um, I have been trying all of these different things to um, see if this actually works out well. And truth be told, I went to Restream. I've tried a couple of things because I'm still learning, but I wanted to get back into this. And it came down to quality. And I tried Restream and it didn't work. So I'm coming back. I'm doing this for a month. I'm going to record some videos. Obviously, the quality is exponentially better. So I'm probably going to be coming back to StreamYard here as far as yearly. So with all that being said, like I said, you guys may or may not have seen this before. So anyways, for anybody that is just tuning in, okay, once again, I'm David Steele. Nice to make your acquaintance. But so what this is going to be, guys, is going to be an update. This is going to be a channel update, guys. So last year, I just started this channel, and I was really kind of trying to figure things out. What was going to happen, how it was going to happen, whatever else. I ran out of money. I need to get a job. So I kind of stopped short. This year, I am making a concerted effort and have made a concerted effort over the last couple of months to really put things together, together. So in October, I started, finding out what movies I was going to do and scheduling them. And I have the first 6 months of movies ready to go for you guys as far as schedule. Now, that all being said, I'm going to start recording it either today or tomorrow. And then you guys are going to be getting your perfect movies in a lot of different retrospectives and a couple surprises. So that's what this is. It is a preview of the upcoming year because I felt like, look, I kind of shortchanged you guys not streaming for the rest of 2025 or 2024 rather, and I wanted to make sure that you guys were taken care of. So that's all. That all being said, I really want to do this, and I miss doing this, to be absolutely frank. I miss doing this. So one of the first things, so there's a multitude of things I'm going to be talking about, but one of the first things I wanted to do is make an addition to the channel. And everybody who is a subscriber on YouTube, okay, had a chance to vote in this, and everybody who's a follower on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, had a chance to vote in this. And that is my Twitter handle down there. You can guys follow me on Twitter. I'm always, or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm always talking about movies, in spaces about movies, all that other stuff. So I wanted to make another edition. So anyways, the poll I put out there was, I'm going to watch a television show. So do I watch something I've seen in Dexter, or do I watch a brand new show that I have never seen, but I really, it's the 25th anniversary this year, and that was The West Wing. And you guys voted. And you guys voted on Twitter, and you guys voted on YouTube. And the winner was Dexter. So I am going to be doing a full episode by episode by episode breakdown of Dexter. I love this show. I mean, The West Wing seemed phenomenal. I had watched Dexter many, many years ago. It still has one of the most controversial endings next to The Sopranos you'd ever seen in your life. My buddy, years and years and years ago, turned me on to this. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And I got hooked immediately. And I went out, got the first couple of seasons, and went through it like that. and it was phenomenal. The fourth season was the pinnacle. Um, it's an amazing, amazing show. So anybody who's not familiar with Dexter, it's about a serial killer, or I shouldn't say a serial killer. It is about a blood spatter analyst who is who moonlights as a serial killer. Now you say, well, what is that? So he finds people that have committed crimes in his job because he has access, right? He has all the access in the world. So what he does is he finds these criminals that have gotten away with their crimes, whether it was a drunk driver, whether it was domestic abuse, whatever it was. And he makes them pay for it. And so vigilante, serial killer, whatever you want to call it. So I am only going to be doing so we have two new series. We have New Blood, okay, and then we have the original Sin that's coming out. And I'm not going to be covering those. Number one, because I want to go back, I want to do a full watch through of everything. Maybe coming years, but I want to do a full watch through. There's 95 or 96 episodes of this, so you guys are going to be getting all 95 episodes. Now, how are you going to do that with a season? Well, I'll manage. I'll figure it out. But so I'm going to be doing the first 8 seasons. And the reason why I think this is some of the best television on TV, or was, is because that it had everything you want. Okay? It had the writing. It had the character. It had the drama. It had what I call the oh shit moment at the end of every episode. The last 5 minutes was that oh shit episode, like the hook to get you back. And so the thing is that you had all of these characters, okay, whether it was his sister or a stepsister in Jennifer Carpenter there, or whether it was Harry, okay, his father, who we find out, or Dokes, in the first couple of seasons, or you have, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but anybody who knows about it, the train killer, John Lithgow. Amazing. So it's an incredible, incredible, incredible show. I love it. But that's going to start in April. Okay, so I'm going to get going on that now. But I do have another show that I'm going to be this is just an amazing show, guys. So I do have another show that I'm going to be covering and doing a rewatch series on. And anybody who knows the series knows what I'm talking about, hopefully. And it was a phenomenal, phenomenal series. I'm talking about The Last of Us. We have had so many video game adaptations over the years that have just utterly failed. Now, there have been some good ones, but there have been some real stinkers. Craig Mazin, who did Chernobyl, wrote this. And you had Neil Druckmann, who, by the way, made his directorial debut in this series. I think he did 1 or 2 of them. Anyways, it was awesome. It won 8 Emmys, as it should. I like to do a lot of production design stuff, but nonetheless, this was amazing. And anybody who knows the story of The Last of Us knows what I'm talking about. Now, I loved it. So you guys are going to be getting a rewatch series. I've already watched the first 2 episodes. I've already got the script ready for the first 2 episodes. So that's in the works. That's going to be in the first month. Okay. But as we get closer and closer, okay, we are going to have another season. And so the trailer's already come out for this. Okay. And everybody who knows the story, I'm never going to spoil this, guys. And anybody who knows the story, please don't spoil it for others. But anybody who knows the story knows what heartbreak it is. And this looks unbelievable. If the first season is any indication, look out. And so what they're going to do for this is they're going to break it in. So the game's huge. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20, 24 hours of gameplay. You guys can correct me in the comments section about that. But it's huge. And there is a stopping point. There is a distinct stopping point that if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And I think that's where they're going to end it. Now, it's interesting because if you go on IMDb, okay, you'll see the characters and everything else. There's only 7 episodes this season, which makes me wonder, are they going to do only 7 episodes next season? So that makes me wonder a couple different things. But one thing I will say is this. If they are only doing 1 episode or 7 episodes this first season, it tells me that I think we are going to be getting longer episodes, right? So every episode, roughly, give or take, was about, I don't know, 45, 50 minutes. And they flew by, right? I'm kind of wondering if they're not. So the very first episode of The Last of Us was an hour and 20 minutes. Now they had to establish a lot of things. Understood. I'm wondering if they're not going to go back to that. Because there is so much rich story building and character development and everything else that it looks incredible. And if they're going to do it for that season, and once we see what the runtime for this stuff is, it's going to make it a little easier on everybody. So I can't wait, obviously. Now, if you want to go back, and I'll leave the link in the description, if you want to go back and watch the interview. So I personally wasn't lucky enough to do it. Kyle, my former co-host, and anybody who is a subscriber of the channel knows him or anything else. He actually was able to sit down and interview Timothy B. Good. Now, Timothy B. Good just won an Emmy for episode 5, Endure and Survive. And he sat down with him for 2 hours and just picked his brain about his career, his experiences, and everything else. And he was the main editor of the whole first season. And he's back. And he's going to have an assistant editor with him. But this is going to be remarkable. So that's going to be the next little gem you guys are going to be getting. So that's not all, of course. You guys are going to be getting a ton of retrospectives, okay, which I have lined up, okay, and everything else. But a couple of the movies. Now, obviously, guys, this wouldn't be a a show without retrospectives, right? So now, let me talk about a couple of the movies, because the movies, we have a big year of movies coming out, to say the least. So, the very first one that's going to be coming out in, I don't know, 3 months, a little less than 3 months now, is Captain America: Brave New World. This one looks, so everything I've heard about it and read about it and everything else. And by the way, guys, I have 0 inside sources, so just keep that in mind. Everything I hear from other third parties, so keep that in mind. It has the potential. It has the potential to be another Winter Soldier. And anybody who knows anything about the MCU and the Winter Soldier, film, I should say, I think, and this is me personally, I think it's one of the films that saved the MCU. um, because it just everything about it was fantastic. You had the political angle, and you're going to have that here with. Unfortunately, we're not going to be getting um, William Hurt come back because he passed away a few years ago. But we are going to be getting Harrison Ford, who I think is going to be fantastic, um, a fantastic, replacement. So that's just one of the films. Okay. Um, so that all being said, it's going to be fun. This is going to be a really fun movie, and how that's done. I kind of wish. I mean, one thing Marvel has a little problem in doing is dropping spoilers themselves. So when seeing trailers, then I understand you have to get marketing and everything else. I kind of wish we hadn't seen Red Hulk, but that is what it is. But this Marvel movie is going to be fabulous. We're going to be getting 3 of these too, by the way, guys. We're going to be getting, Captain America, Brave New World, and then we're going to be getting Thunderbolts in the summer, and then Fantastic Four. So, moving on, okay. That is, excuse me, guys. That is not the only. That is not the only big movie we're going to be getting. While this is a big movie, okay. While this is a big movie in itself, we have another movie that's going to be, I think, just as big, if not bigger. Okay. And I love this franchise. And everybody that watched the channel knows what I'm talking about. Mission Impossible. This is going to be absolutely huge. And there are not enough superlatives out there to even begin to say what this franchise has done for not only cinema, but in general. I cannot wait. And this is a May 28th release. If I remember correctly, I have the paper over there. It's not in front of me. I think it's early May. I think it's late May. So it's going to come out, right after, Marvel drops its second film. And this, by the way, guys, so Dead Reckoning, which, by the way, I'll never understand why they did Dead Reckoning Part 1, whatever. But that's a whole other story. This film, the first one didn't do as well because you had Oppenheimer, right? And that took up a lot of the PLFs, premium large formats. This film was made for IMAX, not just the certain scenes, but the whole film. And there's so many things to say about this, and I can't wait. It's just going to be an absolutely remarkable film. And Tom Cruise, and everybody who knows me knows this. There is never going to be another guy who does it like him, ever. Now there have been inklings and rumors. Even Trump said himself that he wants Glenn Powell to carry the mantle, and I just don't see that. I just don't see that. So we have Kevin here that says Avatar, Fire and Ash, Utopia, and Jurassic Park Rebirth. Yeah, those are all going to be big. This is going to be a big, big year for movies in 2025. I don't know how well Jurassic Park's going to do, only because, we just had Dominion that just, well, it made a lot of money. The story was terrible. So I'm not sure about that. Hit TV shows 2025, Daredevil, Born Again, The Last of Us. Yeah, so you just missed it, Kevin, but I was just saying I'm going to actually do a rewatch of The Last of Us. And that is going to be starting at the beginning of the year. I've already watched the first 2 episodes. I've already got the first 2 episodes watched. And once the second season begins sometime in May, or they want to look at it like March. It's only 7 episodes. So I'm going to be doing the first 10 or 12 episodes and rewatching them and tell you guys my thoughts and everything else. And then, of course, we can slide right back in the other one. And lastly, he says, Weekend and Gladiator will do well at the domestic box office. My only concern is international audience. So, yeah. So basically, what it comes down to is Wicked is, this is one of the most hyped films of the year. And it's good. The first weekend is always a great indicator of how it's going to do. It's always going to do money overseas. Now, that's going to be interesting. The other thing too is Gladiator 2 is just getting rave reviews. As a matter of fact, I just read this morning that Ridley Scott actually wants to make a third Gladiator, and he was inspired by Francis Ford Coppola. Okay, when he did The Godfather 3. So we'll see where that happens. And the other thing too is this: for all those people that are not going to see Gladiator, you can be sure that they're going to go see it on VOD. So I think that's going to do really well. So Mission Impossible is going to do incredible. Now Fallout, I think if you guys want to watch it too, I'll put this down in the description box. I did a whole rewatch series of all of the Mission Impossibles up to Dead Reckoning Part 1. And once this one comes out, I will do them back to back. You guys are going to be getting spoiler cast too. So I think it's very, I think this is going to be a fantastic movie. Whether it's the end. So there is one thing I would like to see. Okay. The one thing I would like to see out of this, a couple of things actually. Number one, okay, Ethan walks away with Julia. Okay, that has to happen for me. Has to happen. Because she's been in Michelle Monaghan's been in a couple of these films, rarely used, but it still has to happen. Okay. The second is that none of the original team can die. I'm talking about Luther, Benji. They can't die. Because that's going to really leave a sour taste in people's mouths. If anybody is going to die, so we just lost Rebecca Ferguson's character, Hilda Faust, in the other one. I think that if anybody who's going to die, it's going to be Grace. I think Haley Atwell, because she just joined the team, right? So I think there's something to be said there about, doing that. Now, I hope not. I mean, but it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. Now, by the way, guys, regardless of who lives and who dies, she's now a superstar. She is now an absolute superstar. So, that's going to be, she was already a superstar with Agent Carter, but she's going to be even more of a superstar now, being in Mission Impossible. Look at Glenn Powell. That's all you got to say. Look at Glenn Powell. Okay, Glenn Powell is a superstar now because of being in Top Gun Maverick. Which, by the way, guys, I am going to be doing. That's one of the many. I've got all the perfect movies lined up. So that is one of the 12 movies you're going to be getting along with that. But there is one other movie that, just is the most anticipated movie of year. And if this plays out the way that it should, look out. And it's going to be on everybody's number one. And I'm talking about Superman. Hands down, twice on Sunday. You cannot tell me different. You can't tell me different, guys. This is going to be the number one most anticipated movie of the year. This has been talked about for years. Ever since James Gunn came into DC. Ever since he came in, it's been talked about. What is he going to do? How is he going to do it? Now, I don't blame the Flash on him because that was not his mess. Okay, even though he said what he said and everything else. He's worked at the biggest stage in the world. Okay, and that's Marvel. If you look at going back to 2014, okay, so let's go back to 2014 real quick because that's a big thing. Okay, you have. Let's go back to 2014 real quick. So with 2014 and what I was talking about with Captain America: Brave New World, so we just had Thor: The Dark World come out, okay, which Thor was a fantastic success. Phase 1, everything going. They come out with a sequel that absolutely does nothing. Okay. There were 2 movies that year. Okay. Captain America: Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, we all know where Winter Soldier is 10 years later, 11 years later. But Guardians of the Galaxy was a movie that people did not really know about. They didn't know about the characters. They knew about if they were hardcore, diehard comic people, they knew about it. But they didn't really have any idea. And what James Gunn did, okay, is he elevated them, okay, from C characters to A characters. It was emotional. It was funny. It was dramatic. It was all the things you wanted, okay? And as we look back 10 years, I think, and this is just me, I mean, you guys can leave your thoughts in the comments section. I think Guardians is a top 5 film. That's just me. That being said, Guardians of the Galaxy was a huge success. He wrote it and he directed it. And then, so I saw a quote. When Guardians 3 came out last year, there was a quote he said. I think it was in Vulture magazine. Anyways, he said that the first film was about the mother, the second film was about the father, and the third film was about them. He had it all planned out. He knew exactly what he was doing. That being said, now, even if you take a look at the Suicide Squad, okay, the Suicide Squad, the one who did, it was incredibly good. Okay, but first of all, we got Peacemaker out of it. Moreover than that, it was funny. It was violent, gratuitous violence, but funny. Okay, and just worked. Now, it wasn't the financial success that some of the other films had because of the pandemic and everything else. But looking back, I loved it. I loved it. When he comes into DC, he's got a mess. Okay, forget about the Flash because that was not his mess, like I said. This is his baby. This is his baby. This is the one that he is going to really come out and show people, hey, look, I can do this. That's why, okay? That's why, guys, he decided to write it and direct it himself. Because he didn't want to leave it in anybody else's hands. Because how you start out is going to be incredibly important from where you're going to go. And the last thing I'll say is this, guys. We are getting Supergirl in this movie. So he's already planning for the future. In 2026, guys, we're going to be getting Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. So it's going to be fascinating to see, and of course we have, Lex being um, the villain in this and everything else. So Superman, guys, is going to be the #1 movie of 2025, most anticipated movie of 2025. Now, it may not earn a gazillion dollars, and it doesn't have to. Keep that in mind. I've gotten away from money in the last couple of years. Okay, it doesn't have to earn $1 billion to be a good movie, because we've all seen films that have earned a little amount of money and are really, really good. And then we've all seen movies that have earned a gazillion dollars and they're terrible. I'm just looking for a good quality story, start, and where it's going to go from there. And once we get that, and if it's as good as I think, Frank Grillo just came out and said, and the trailer, by the way, so the trailer, speaking of the comment of Kevin's comment about Mufasa, okay, which I agree is going to make some money, is rumored, quote, rumored, okay, that the trailer is going to be in front of that. Now, we have the anniversary of Superman. I want to say it's the 46th. Don't quote me on that. 45th anniversary of the original Richard Donner Superman come out. That's going to come out mid-December. Don't be shocked or surprised if we see it on that day. Don't be surprised, because this is his favorite character. He's already publicly come out and said, Superman, more than any other character, is my favorite character. So I have all of the faith and belief in the world, especially if you consider his prior results, all of the faith and belief in this guy to do this. And I think we, as a culture, fans, we just need to sit back and wait and see. Because once that first trailer drops, it's going to break the internet. And no matter when the trailer drops, it could drop today. It would break the internet. Okay? So I think that, what I do believe, okay, is that number one, I think it is going to drop on that particular day. Okay. And number two, you're going to see a spot for a quote big game spot for this on the Super Bowl. They would be foolish not to. They would be absolutely foolish not to, because it's a couple of months. People can digest it. And by the way, this trailer is going to get dissected on every single brain. So I was just watching the other day, as a matter of fact, I was just watching Man of Steel. And, this is, by the way, guys, this is the first time. The last thing I'll say is this is the first time we're getting a solo Superman movie since Man of Steel. Think about that. It's been over what? That was 2013, if I'm not mistaken. 11, 12 years. Now, sure, he's been in Dawn of Justice and Justice League and everything. He's been in it. But I'm talking a solo Superman movie. That's something big. It's like when a Star Wars movie comes out, right? It just reinvigorates the franchise. So that is going to be I think, arguably the #1 most anticipated movie of 2025 across everybody's list. I'd be shocked if it's not. I would be absolutely shocked. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to have other movies like Fantastic Four up there and, Thunderbolts and everything else. But Superman, this is it. This is it. Now, it's also one of those things, guys, where it's like blowing up a balloon. You're blowing it up, blowing it up, blowing. The anticipation is there, and then when it pops, it pops. This doesn't have to make a whole lot of money, although DC really, and Warner Brothers really does want it to make a lot of money. They won't say that, though. Yeah. So That's going to be the number one anticipated movie of the year. So you guys have, and by the way, those are all on my top 10, top 7 anticipated movies of 2025. So that's what you guys are going to be getting. You're going to be getting a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff. Okay. You're going to be getting retrospectives, which I have lined up and planned. I just have to start recording the videos. Okay, I've got 7 videos all lined up. I just didn't want to get too far ahead of myself. The plan is this. Okay, on the 1st or the 2nd of every month. Okay, you guys are going to get the perfect movie series coming back. I have all 12 movies lined up. So you guys are going to be getting on the 1st or 2nd or the 1st week of the month. You're always going to be getting a perfect movie. Okay. Then the next day, you're going to be getting a retrospective. Okay. On Wednesday, it's going to be a break. Thursday is another retrospective. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go TV Tuesday, TV Thursday. We'll see. Whatever day I don't do, you're going to be getting another retrospective. So if it could be TV Tuesday, and that's going to happen in April, then we'll do that. The Last of Us, those rewatch episodes, guys, are going to be on Sundays. So keep that in mind. I wanted to kind of keep the same gist as the actual series. That way you get used to all of that. So once we get into season 2, you get used to that. And by the way, guys, I'm still going to be covering new movies. The plan is, and I've got a list of like 10 or 12 movies that I'm only the new stuff that I'm going to be covering. Those 3 films there you see in the thumbnail, okay? Those are 3 of those, okay? I'm going to be covering some other ones. You know, another movie that I'm extremely excited for that a lot of people aren't going to go see, but I'm going to cover it, is The Accountant 2. I can't wait for that one with Ben Affleck. Frank Grillo is going to be in that one too. But, so we've got all these movies, not to mention Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, you know, a ton of other stuff, Saw in October. So all this stuff. So you guys are going to be in a lot of stuff. New movies with spoiler casts, retrospectives, movies that have come out over the years. You're going to be getting rewatches, okay? Whether it's The Last of Us, Dexter, whatever it is. And, you know, a ton of other stuff. So I'm going to see what I can do about interviews. I want to try and I want to reach out to Timothy again to see if he can come on during the 2nd season. We'll see. I want to sit down and chat with him. I know Kyle did a couple of years ago or last year. So yeah, that's it. So long story short, guys, I know we're going on and on, but this is what I want to bring to you. So this is where I'm going to need your help. Okay. Number 1, I need you to absolutely smash that like and subscribe button. Okay. Because the like and subscribe button is the one that is going to tell everybody that this is a thing to watch. Okay. And I'm trying to. So let's see here. So yes, there it is. That's the one I wanted to find. But seriously, guys, you please hit that like and subscribe button. Because what that does is a couple of things. Number 1, it gets the video out to a lot of other people. Also, please leave a comment. Tell me which movies you're excited for 2025. Okay, because I think that's important too. I want to hear your movies. I want to hear what you're excited about. Okay. But hit that like and subscribe button, guys. And, you know, my goal this year is a couple of things. Number 1, memberships. So I'm going to put this on here right now for everybody because it is very important. And I want everybody to look at this. Okay. So this is something that is a goal of mine for 2025. Okay. And we're going to take them. Bear with me for a minute. Going to remove this. And this is something that is very important. Memberships, guys. You can zoom in when the video is done. Okay. So my goal is two things this year. Number one is get more subscribers. So I want more eyes on these videos. Number two is memberships. Now, I know money is tight for a lot of people today, including myself. Okay. But, and this is why I did what I did. If you look at this, guys, see what I did. Okay. The very first month is completely free. That's right. Free. Okay. That's 4 little words in English language today. Free. Because what I want is I want you to understand and know what I'm doing and the commitment I'm showing. Okay. So what I've done is I've made the first month completely free. Okay. And I have 3 membership tiers here. The first one is moviegoer. Okay. It's $2.99 a month. Now, guys, when you think about this, think about it like this. You go to a Starbucks, you're paying $3 for a drink. Okay. I'm giving you all of this stuff that I'm talking to you about. The retrospectives, the perfect movies, all this stuff, the rewatches for $3 a month. Then you go back and you look at the second thing. Okay. $5.99 a month. Now, look at it like this too, guys. I'm in Los Angeles, so everything's priced higher. Depending on where you are in the country and depending on where you're seeing this, that could be almost a gallon of gas or 2 gallons of gas. Okay. You're getting all of this stuff for $5.99 a month. And lastly, guys, is the director. Okay. And it's $9.99 a month. It's $10 a month. Now, look at it like this, guys. Hulu, and I know they've got bundles and everything else. Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, all of these streaming services, guys, are raising their prices. Okay. So, because of that, people have to cut the cord on certain things. For $10 a month, I'm giving you all of this content. All of it. Okay? Your perfect movie series, your retrospectives, your rewatch series, your spoiler cast, everything for $10 a month. You can't beat that. And I know as somebody watches YouTube and other channels, I would hate if they put this stuff behind paywalls, right? I'm not going to do that for you guys. But the way you can help me out and support me is by becoming a member. Okay. And that's very, very important because I want to provide, and this is why I'm paying an extra $150 for a year for StreamYard. Okay. Because I want to provide you with the absolute best quality video that I can. But the only way I can do this is I need your help. And so I think it's an important thing. Eventually, my goal eventually is to do this full time. So I'm making videos for you full time. I have a job, okay? It's barely getting me by, but I want to do this for you guys full time. So I'm going to definitely try and get the merch, going and everything else. I might do some giveaways, this year. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's what I want. And clearly I'm not going to be making a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of money to get to where I want to be. But I need to start somewhere. And with your guys' help, I can do that. So Yeah, so that is going to do it for today. I know I've made this video like 3 times, but I want to actually get it out to everybody and have it be clear and, you know, at the best resolution, the best quality I can. So, as far as 2025 is concerned, the next time you'll see me, okay, is for perfect movies. And so the first perfect movie of the year, okay, is going to be Wall Street. And so it's going to be Wall Street, the Oliver Stone film that was done in 1987. And it's still, I mean, we've had other financial movies like Big Short and other stuff, but Wall Street for me is a perfect movie every single time. So that's the one I want to start out with you guys. So yeah, so you guys are going to see me again. The next time you'll see me is in 2025 for that. So big thank you to everybody who has, watched the videos over the past year. I got to send out a big thank you to DadPool, who has been a member for 16 months, guys. And he is, because of everything, he is making all my thumbnails. So all the thumbnails you guys are going to be seeing over the course of the next year, okay, or at least the first 3 months, that's his work. So if you are a YouTuber or you do need, graphic artist stuff done, reach out to him. Okay. I will put his handle, his X handle in the description, and that way you guys can, I'm sure he would, gladly use it. So, all right, guys. So that's going to do it for me today. So do the 3 things that I always tell everybody to do. Number 1, be safe. Number 2, take care of yourself. And number 3, guys, be good to everybody. So on that note, I'm David Steele, and you have been watching Real Time.